Gentlemen, you don't hate your body. You hate what it represents. Well, how do I know? I'll tell you how I know. I've lived it. I have lived it. I have grown up a very, very overweight, very shy kid. So I can understand. And also, to tip on the end of the scales, a few years later, I was very, very underweight. I'd flip from one extreme to the next. I know you struggle. Not specifically. I don't know you as a person. But I can relate to what you've been through. Now, I don't want to say I used to use food as an escape. I don't think it was that much. I think I was just greedy. I think I just enjoyed eating. Which isn't wrong, so to speak, you know. But to the level I used to eat, and the size I was, no good. Maybe part of it was comfortability. Maybe part of it was self-acceptance. I don't know. What's funny, I used to do biking. I was a BMXer. I was a skateboarder. I used to do parkour. Would you believe it? I used to do all these activities of fitness. But it was my diet that was just terrible. And I didn't quite understand that as a kid. I was like, well, you know, I'm fit and I'm still doing stuff. I'm still going out. I'm climbing trees. I'm jumping here. I'm doing front flips and back flips, which I could do. I'll get a video if I can find it. I was doing back flips and front flips and everything, right? And I was fat up until about, I had stages. I had crazy stages from about 7 or 8 years old up until about 10 years old. And then from about 10 or 11 years old up until about 17. About 17 years old, 18 years old. Now, when I actually initially lost the weight, it wasn't really because of I really planned to. You know, I was just so sick of seeing myself. Now, I didn't hate the body as such, now I realise. It's not that I hate the body. The body is only an extension of yourself. It wasn't the body you hate. It's what it represents. You know, it's all the excuses you make yourself. You know, it's only one more cake. It's only one more chocolate bar. It's only one more piece of poison in my system. It's fine. You know, it'll burn off eventually. I'll work out tomorrow. I'll do some extra walking. Never happens. And you know it. That's why you're here. So, what do we do about it? You're here now because you don't want to make any excuses anymore. You want to be held accountable. You're here because you're the kind of man who wants to change. You don't want to be stuck in your same old patterns and your same old how you used to be. And you're not the same man anymore. Because if you were the same man, you wouldn't be here. So I'm proud of you for being here. Give yourself a pat on the back. But not too much because you ain't done nothing. So, where do we go from here? Let me tell you a little bit of a backstory again. I'll run you back on my history. I was 14, maybe a little younger, 13, 14. This was a pivotal point for me. Terrible pivotal point for me. I remember I went swimming. And I was, you know, I didn't even really swim back then. I was just enjoying the water, living life, enjoying everything I could enjoy in that pool. I mean, it was just bliss. Until I hear that whistle. Get out. Shit, okay, time's up. Get out. Getting out. Gravity is not on my side at this point. I'm getting out of the thing. This guy comes along. He's the same size as me, mind you. Probably a little bit lighter, but, you know, same size as me. And he goes, girl tits. I mean, my mind was blown. After that point, I was like, I can't have this anymore. I can't have this. Spoiler alert. I enjoyed for another 3 years. But, point being, I didn't want to be big anymore. And I always had this dream of losing that weight and being a different man in school. I already did that as a kid and nobody recognized me. It was the best feeling ever. I loved it. No one knew who I was. I mean, they knew who I was after a point, but they were like, they couldn't believe it was me. I look so different. Hopefully, my audio should be better now. I do apologize about that. Forgive me. Anyway, where was I? So, and no one recognized me when I was young, and it was the best feeling ever. I was a new man. I was reinvented. This is probably what led to the events to where I am right now. I love the idea of reinvention. I was a new man. No one recognized me. No one knew me. People were looking at me different, and people would treat me with different level of respect before. You know, I'll never forget when I was a young man. I had long hair. I loved WWE. I loved it. And Jeff Hardy. I mean, he was my favorite. I'd copy his stunts. I did backflips off ladders. I was a crazy kid. I was a little bit insane. But you know what? That's the kind of spirit you want to have inside you. Anyway, so I was obsessed with Jeff Hardy. I grew all this hair out. And this lady, this older lady, I went to the doctors. This older lady, she said, what a beautiful, pretty young girl right there to me. Look at me. Do I look like a girl? Don't answer that, please. Then from about 17 or 18, all I did was eat one meal a day. And the problem was I didn't even work out. So this is where I lost the majority of my weight. I'll see if I can get some pictures up. I lost a lot of weight. I can't tell you specifically. I'll see if I can tell you my exact weight, but I'm not quite sure. Anyway, I lost a bunch of weight. What's occurred to me now is when I looked in the mirror, I didn't see the man that I wanted to be. And that's a problem. That's a very, very big problem. It's not just about what you want to look like. It's not just for vanity. You know, it's not just for looking good for women or, you know, looking good and getting social approval or whatever. It's a whole different barrier. It's how you see yourself. It's what you think you're capable of yourself. If you're larger or you have a bad self-image or skinny and you have a really bad self-image, you're not going to treat yourself with the same amount of respect as somebody else would. And if you don't respect yourself in that manner and you're self-deprecating in every instance, always putting yourself down, always being negative about yourself, people feel it and they start to see the same way about yourself. I had a call yesterday with a friend and he was saying I was putting myself down, which I didn't even quite realize I was doing it. You know, I tend to joke around a lot and my humor can be pretty hit or miss, right? So I'm a very positive person, especially these days. Back then, maybe not such. Then I was a very negative person, always seeing the bad side for the most part. Now you realize you don't have to be that man anymore. It's not a weight issue, it's a self-image issue. But a lot of your self-image does come from how you look or how you perceive yourself, so to speak. There's people who are bigger, they love themselves, and they know they love themselves, and they're very confident in that fact. I'll give you an example. I didn't start becoming confident in myself until I lost my fat. And when I lost my fat, my life was different. And I made millions, and I made billions, and I'm so rich. Is what I'd love to tell myself. But it took effort, it took time. It did take a minute. It took a little bit of time. And it took doing things that made me uncomfortable. And I think more than just going to the gym to help your body, it's the initial fear that kind of like, oh, I don't want to go in there because people are going to look at me. That's why you need to do it. That's why you need to get in there and start doing it. That's why you need people to look at you. That's why you need to make videos like this and be uncomfortable on camera. So people look at you and say, I don't know about that. And you need to feel a little bit uncomfortable doing it. I feel uncomfortable right now doing it. I'm so uncomfortable, you can tell I'm terribly uncomfortable. But you need to do things that make you uncomfortable, which will in turn help your self-image and build your confidence. And this is kind of losing the weight or going to the gym and build muscle. That only helps with the external side. The internal side still remains. But when the external is good, that can help with the internal. But you can't help the external. How do you say? But you can't fix your external body. You can't fix how you look if you're not willing to step in the gym. Or you're not willing to eat better. And you're not willing to walk. Or go the extra mile. Right? You finally convince yourself to do something that you struggle with. You get a little better at it. And you're uncomfortable. And you feel awkward and embarrassed. And that's very important because you're building character. And once you start building that character, then it helps to get easier to get back in the gym. Because you don't have that initial fear of like, people are looking at me. I'm using the gym as an example here. But getting back into the gym gets easier now. Because you're not worried about the eyes on you. Or people looking at you. Or wondering what you're doing. Because it doesn't really matter to them, you know. It doesn't really matter. Embarrass yourself on purpose. Here's a practice. Here's another thing. Embarrass yourself on purpose. Do something that you would never, ever, ever do. Do something so embarrassing and scary that it makes your heart race just thinking about it. And I don't mean jumping off cliffs. You want to do that? Go ahead. You want to break your neck? Legally, I didn't say this. Be my guest. I'm not responsible for whatever happens after this. But do something that challenges you. You want to write a song and put it out there? Put it out there. You scared of people listening to you sing? Put it out there. You scared of people listening to you talk? Talk out there. Put it out there, right? Do things that challenge you. Do things you don't want to do. Those are the important things. You have to do the things that you don't want to do. Or when people say, I thought you were going to do this, then get people to keep you accountable as well. When you know you've got to post videos, you'll post them. When you know you've got to get to the gym, you'll get there. When you have an idea or a mentality, it's not good and it's really actually a terrible thing to have if people around you are kind of saying you can't do that, and that's not what you've done before, and you've never been that way before, and you can't change your ways or your habits. These people keep you boxed, and it's terrible. You can't live that way, because life is evolution. The whole point of living is to change and adapt. Every single person can agree that we're all made to adapt. We all have the potential to adapt, right? So when we're kind of boxed into certain categories by friends or family, lovers, girlfriends saying, you've never done that before, you can't do this, and it's not who you are. You are not him. You are not him. I am him. I will be him. I won't be him because I am him now. And I've changed my life, and my life is different, and the goals I want are different. I don't want the same car anymore. I don't want the same life anymore. I don't want a house anymore. I don't want that girlfriend anymore. Get him gone. Get him gone. You only have to keep you accountable. You only have to keep yourself accountable. And it only gets easier when you have a nicer body and when you start to develop this. Because it isn't the body itself that represents your character. It's the effort that went into building that body. It's the discipline it took. It's the quiet resentment of, oh, I'm sick of doing this. It's character building. And that's the important side. That's the important part. You don't hate your body. You hate who you are. Or who you've let yourself be. The excuses that you've made to yourself in the past. But you're not bound by them anymore. You're limitless. You can do whatever you want. Whatever you want in the world. You just have to know what you want. You just have to know what you want. And you don't have to know how to get it yet. You just have to start. I'm here. I'm here to help you. And one more thing. I'm building a 90-day reset system for men who are sick of negotiating with themselves and want to rebuild their standards. If this is you, stick around. There'll be more details soon. So, gentlemen, I know you'll make it in the end. You got this.